The meeting to order. I want to acknowledge that we are on the traditional unceded territory of the Upper Smokeman Indian Band. Adoption of the minute, or of the agenda, sorry. Just jump over the first part. Adoption of the agenda for October 19th, 2020.
Make the motion.
Councillor Gould, seconder. Councillor McLean. Any additions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. Now adoption of the minutes. Adoption of the minutes from September 28th, 2020.
Make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Willis, seconder. Councillor McLean, any errors or omissions? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Petitions and delegations. We have one tonight. We have Sea to Sky Network Solutions here to give us an IT services update. I will pass it over to you guys if you're ready. Can you hear us? Hello. We're having technical difficulties with our IT department.
I was refraining from saying that.
Can you hear us, guys? Maybe they're on mute.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. It's all yours. Go ahead.
Awesome. Okay, well, thanks for having us, everyone. Just a bit of an introduction. My name is Mike Gustafson. I'm one of the managing partners here at Sea to Sky. My business partner, Jason, is on the call here as well. I wanted to give you a bit of a background, a bit of an introduction with who we are. So we're an MSP, which is a managed service provider, and we work with a ton of municipalities all over BC. Most are a similar size to Princeton. Some are quite a bit larger, and some are a bit smaller. So we have sort of a range in experience with different organizations. Because of that, we're familiar with the services that all our municipal customers require and the different challenges that are faced, including data residency requirements, the common systems used in finance, fire prevention, dispatch, all those things. Most of our customers have similar requirements. There's usually municipal hall, public works, fire hall, and other departments as well. And these days, pretty much everybody is using both internal on-premise systems and cloud services as well. So we've been providing managed services for Princeton since about November 2019, so coming up on a year now, and our focus has always been on security. That's our top priority internally with all our customers. That's our heaviest focus. So we invest heavily on a regular basis in terms of our internal processes and procedures to ensure that we're keeping customer data secure. We also invest heavily in training and have our staff attending extensive security training on a regular basis. Obviously, in the news lately, everyone's heard about the increased amount of ransomware that different organizations, different businesses are facing, and there's been a lot of threats recently, especially targeting municipalities throughout North America, it seems like, over the past number of months. And so because of that, we're having to constantly review the different products and services we're putting in place to defend against these things. And then, on an ongoing basis, be implementing new tools to make sure that we're at the forefront of what's going on. We're expecting to continue investing more in IT and more in security over the coming months. And then on top of tools, there's the ongoing time spent on training, and that means not just internal training for us, but also for employee training at our customers as well. The vast majority of threats and these type of problems start because an employee clicks on a link in an email. They'll either open an attachment or they go to a website that somebody sent them, and it turns out that that's where the issue starts from. So, we're working on implementing customer training tools so that people are aware of what they're doing. So I think specifically on those type of things, I'm going to turn it over to my business partner, Jason, and he can speak, with specifics of what we're doing here for Princeton.
Perfect. Thanks, Mike. So as Mike mentioned, Sea to Sky started working with the municipality last November. When we came on board, there were a number of things that we found that needed to be taken care of. There was a new server that needed to go in. There was misconfiguration on the current server, and there was really almost no security on any of the systems, either at Municipal Hall or some of the other locations that connect in. So with every new customer, the first thing we did was we put in a new backup solution. We said the first thing we need to do is make sure the backups are working properly, and that will help us if in the event of an error on the old server, or if there's ransomware that comes to light. So we're now backing up the town's data and replicating it off-site. So every hour or so, an image or basically a picture gets taken of all the servers, all the data, and then every day we're replicating that off-site to a secure facility in Canada. We also back up the email as well. So the email stored in the cloud, but we're backing that up as well to another cloud, because email can also be attacked. Things can be deleted by mistake, or a ransomware attack can wipe out all of your email. So we take backups of that all the time as well. So in the event of a ransomware event, all the data and the application servers could be recovered from the backup that's off-site if the on-site backup was also infected. We'd either restore the backups to the on-site servers in the office, or we could restore them to the cloud where we could temporarily run everything off a temporary server and access the data remotely. The backups themselves are tested every day, and that goes right to we receive a screenshot verification that the server is actually booted in the cloud backup to make sure that we can recover the data. Not just a check mark to say that it completed, but actually here's some proof that we can recover if we need to. In addition to backups, over the last year, we've been working hard to update the backend infrastructure for the servers and the computers. We've installed a new physical server. We've reset up the finance server into its own virtual machine, deployed new antivirus to all the computers, reconfigured the wireless, and we've also deployed new firewalls to all the other locations besides Municipal Hall. So we put new firewalls at the Fire Hall, the Public Works, the Arena, the Visitor Center. All those locations are now protected just like Municipal Hall, whereas before they were all working independently with consumer-grade hardware. Part of what we do is we put in business-grade hardware that has the right security software installed, and it's all centrally reported on. Everything reports back to us under one pane of glass. As Mike mentioned, we work with several municipalities. A lot of them use the same systems, the same applications that Princeton uses. These systems have frequent updates and sometimes vulnerabilities that require urgent patching. We've heard from other municipalities that not patching these systems in a timely manner has led to ransomware. We've come in and taken over support for a number of municipalities where ransomware has infected their whole network. Our team monitors the infrastructure for Princeton all the time. We receive alerts 24/7 if something's either wrong or there's a performance issue. But we also receive alerts for security incidents like failed login attempts. That could be someone trying to get in, break in through the front door. We receive antivirus alerts and so on. And like Mike said earlier, our team stays on top of the latest security briefings from various vendors. We also receive alerts from the BC government vulnerability and risk management team almost daily. And we action those alerts by either patching systems or ensuring that we have the latest technology in place. That's all I have here, so if anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Does anybody have any questions? Nobody? Okay. No, it doesn't seem that anybody has any questions. It was clear as day.
Sounds great, guys.
No, thank you so much.
All right, well, thank you for your time, and we're always here to assist if needed.
You bet. Thank you. Have a good night.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. We'll go on to...
Goodbye.
There's no unfinished business. We'll go straight to staff report. 6.1, Halloween Fun Night, fireworks display request. The recommendation that conditional approval be granted to the Halloween Fun Night Planning Committee to hold fireworks display on Friday, October 30th, 2020 at the Princeton Airport. This conditional approval is contingent upon on the compliance with the Kamloops Fire Center's fire danger rating assessment for the Merritt Fire Zone, a site assessment by the Princeton Fire Department prior to the event, and attendance of the Princeton Fire Department at the event.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Gould, thank you. Seconder,
Second that, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Willis. Any questions? Councillor Gould.
When will the inspections be done, the required inspections?
The fire department's been active in the location of the fireworks display setup, and we were out and consumed some grass that was out in that location. So our inspection is complete, and we're happy with the results.
Okay. Are we waiting on anything further from Kamloops Fire?
I know the ratings right now are acceptable for this.
So it's not just subject conditional, it's a go?
Yeah, we don't have any limitations.
It all dries up. Perfect. No, I'm good with that. That's excellent. Good, thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor? Carried, thank you. 6.2, 2020 tax sale report. Recommendation that council receive the 2020 tax sale report for information only. Thank you. Councillor McLean, seconder. Councillor Elliott. Any questions? Okay, all in favor? Carried, thank you. 6.3, vehicle purchases. Recommendation that council approve the purchase of one 2021 GMC Canyon Extended Cab and one 2020 GMC Savannah Cargo 3500 from Gardner Chevrolet Buick GMC at a total cost of $64,000 plus applicable taxes.
Make that motion.
Councillor Gould, seconder.
Second that, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Willis, any questions? Councillor McLean, beat you to it.
The price, do you have something over the owners or what?
Yeah, no kidding.
They're good prices.
No kidding.
They happen to be on the lot, so I think that's why we're getting a good price on them.
Okay.
They don't have to be ordered special.
Councillor Gould?
I was just wondering if there's any other modifications that need to be done to it, or are they just,
The only thing is snow tires and then a cap on the pickup.
okay, and that'll still be within that financial budget?
Yeah,
Good, thank you.
All in favor? 6.4, to support a grant application to the UBCM Community Resiliency Investment Grant Program. Recommendation the council approves a resolution to support staff to apply, receive, and manage a fully funded grant from the UBCM Community Resiliency Investment Program.
So moved, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Any questions? No questions? I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried, thank you. 6.5, grant application destination development stream. Recommendation that council authorize the Director of Economic Development to apply for a tourism infrastructure attractions grant, and that council also authorize the application of a second grant for buildings under the Community Economic Recovery Infrastructure Program.
So moved.
Councillor Elliott, seconder.
Second that, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Willis, any questions? Councillor Gould.
Just does the Economic Development Officer want to speak on that? It's a really good thing, and I just,
Well, the first one is gonna be for, as it says, like tourism development for increasing our exposure with the, bronze theme. The second one will be for a new building at the RV park and some improvements there.
excellent, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Council reports. I'll start with Councillor Elliott today, because I haven't done that in a while.
Okay, let's see here. Wednesday and Thursday, the 7th and 8th of October, I attended strategic planning sessions here at Town Hall with all other members of council and staff. Thursday, October 15th, I attended the Princeton Museum meeting at the museum. And yesterday, I attended an outdoor car and truck rally featuring BC Liberal Party leader Andrew Wilkinson and Boundary Similkameen Liberal candidate Petro Ventimilla at Hillside Orchards in Oliver, and that's my report.
Thank you. Councillor McLean.
I attended the meeting George was talking about in terms of also with Councillor Willis attended a posse scheduled meeting trying to get things ready for the season, trying to deal with the ever-changing requirements by Health Board, and it doesn't help that the health inspector is on holidays until the 28th of October, but he will come back, and as far as I'm concerned, he's been a great help in terms of steering us correctly so that we were able to put out a product and be able to carry on with our season sort of thing. So other than that was everything I had.
Thank you. Councillor Willis?
Repeat again? I attended the strategic meeting and then the posse meeting.
Thank you.
So I was not at the September 28th meeting, so I have a little bit more. But September 30th, I attended the Vermilion Forks Community Forest AGM meeting at Riverside Center. And then the 7th and 8th of October, the strategic planning. And then yesterday, Sunday, the 18th, I attended with Mayor Coyne at the Princeton General Hospital. And we met with Liberal candidate Petra Ventimilla, as well as the Liberal leader Andrew Wilkinson. And I'll let you explain what they talked about. But when the one thing that I didn't get to report on at the last meeting because I wasn't here was the success of the 50-plus impactful people of Princeton. I've updated council because I have seen them since, but just so the public is aware, it was very successful. We had 40 tickets sold. We were able to socially distance up at the airport. It was a really nice venue considering the smoke. And it was definitely impactful. We managed to raise in total, I believe the final total, because we did have an anonymous donor come through, was $32,600. So thank you everyone that supported that. That's my report.
So on the 30th of September, I was at the Vermilion Forks meetings. October 1st, I had the regional district meeting. October 7th, 8th, of course, strategic planning. October 9th, I attended the local government primary care engagement workshop. It was a Zoom meeting because we don't go out of town anymore. It was an interesting conversation about the future of our primary care facility it came up. We're still working on the primary care for the South Okanagan, so Oliver, Oseas, Princeton, and Karamias. And some of the frustrations around the way it's being rolled out. October 14th, I attended my first SILGA board meeting. I got elected as a member at large on the SILGA board during the AGM just after UBCM. So we had our first meeting. October 15th, I had another regional district board meeting. And then between October 15th and October 18th, I've been working on Vermilion Court and the situation that's unfolded there with the reduction in the announcement of reduction in service at Vermilion Court. I've been working with Becky Vermette, the executive director of Princeton District Community Services, putting whatever pressure I could put on whatever department I could put on. So I've been in contact with Interior Health. I've spoken to both campaigns. I've gotten Interior Health was here today to speak with the residents. They're working to try to find a solution. We've gotten a commitment from the NDP to fund fully anything that needs to happen if they're reelected. And the Liberal candidate said that they will support Vermilion Court. So I feel confident that we will get the support we need to make sure that Vermilion Court gets the funding to keep all their services. So, I also worked with a few other people during that time to try to find some bridge funding. If that wasn't successful, and we may have found a small amount of money. They have to put some grant applications in to try to get that funding, but I'm pretty confident right now that once there's a government in place, something will happen, and the residents of Vermilion Court shouldn't see much, if any, reduction in services. So it was a weekend. So, yesterday we met, Councillor Gould and I met with Andrew Wilkinson here in town with Petra to talk about one of the campaign promises that they're making and up at the hospital to do a modernization of the hospital. Still very open, but they're committing to, I guess, I'm not really sure how to explain it, everything. Anyways, that's my report.
Mr. Mayor? What was the cancellation of services at Vermilion Court taken place, or was it scheduled to take place?
It's scheduled to take place December 15th
Okay.
of this year.
So we got a bit of time.
Yeah, we've got enough time to make sure it's not going to happen. And the only services that are going to be canceled, were slated to be canceled was hospitality services. So all the healthcare, all the client care, and the room subsidies, I guess what you want to call it, like the housing part of it, that's all funded. That's funded completely. What was being canceled, or slated to be canceled, or is slated to be canceled, is the hospitality services. So food services, for instance, and the room cleaning and that. So,
Yep. Laundry.
yeah. So that's where we're at right now. Okay. Go to 7.2. Princeton District Community Skills Center. We have a recommendation that council appoint Councillor George Elliott as the alternate to the Princeton District Community Skills Center. Councillor McLean.
I'll second.
Councillor Gould. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Correspondence receive and file. We have a couple letters here. Copy of letter to Mayor and Council from Cory, Provincial Director of Child Welfare regarding October as Foster Family Month. And 8.2, a copy of letter to Mayor and Council from Christina, Deputy Minister of Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing regarding Community Economic Recovery Infrastructure Program. And we have a recommendation that 8.1 and 8.2 be received and filed.
Motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Willis, Councillor McLean, questions? All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Number 9, we have correspondence action requested. We have a letter from Don Johnson. We have a recommendation that the request to keep property taxes, water, and sewer at the same level as 2020 be referred to the 2021 budget.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Gould, seconder. Councillor Elliott, questions? All in favor? Carried. Bylaws, 10.1, sewer connections and regulations, bylaw number 992, 2020. Recommendation that the sewer connections and regulations bylaw number 922, or 992, 2020 be given first, second, and third reading, and that staff be directed to begin a public education campaign with the sump pump and storm water collection information sheet.
I'll make that motion, Mr.
Councillor
Mayor.
Gould, seconder.
Second that.
Councillor Willis, questions? Councillor Gould.
I think that I would like to ask if the Director of Infrastructure would like to speak more to this. I have questions on it, but the importance of starting this education campaign.
It's quite important because we have a lot of extraneous flows in our sanitary system. So we have a lot of stormwater that enters our sanitary system, either through sump pumps or just from infiltration and entering freshet. So it's actually impacting the capacity of our sanitary sewer system, especially when it comes to new developments. Because basically we're treating water and not sewage with the sump pumps and with the freshet, the infiltration that we get into our sanitary sewer system. So it's pretty important. And the other component of that is just what you should and shouldn't put down your sanitary sewer system to help prevent blockages, which helps us because we don't get the calls then because there's a blockage in the sanitary sewer system. So that's just an education part for the residents to kind of help us maintain the system.
Excellent, thank you. Well, I do have questions. We're going to be posting, like it's first and second reading, or first, second, third. It'll give the opportunity for people to come, the public, to residents to come back with more questions. When you read through it, it does give recommendations on how to divert the fresh water and recommendations to speak to a plumber if you have questions, if you already are connected to a town water with your sump pump, so. Thank you.
10.2, rezoning of 335 Billiter Avenue from RS1 to RS1S for carriage house. Recommendation of bylaw number 993, 2020, a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw to rezone lot 8, block 1, DL 706, plan 1459, set plan A 348 YDYD, located at 335 Billiter Avenue from RS1 single-family residential to RS1 as single-family residential site-specific, be given first, second reading, and a council, as per section 464, subsection 2 of the Local Government Act, waive the public hearing for zoning amendment bylaw number 993, 2020, as the bylaw is consistent with the official community plan.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Gould. Seconder? Councillor McLean. Any questions on that one?
Sorry, are there any concerns with parking? I saw the map and I read the map and it looks like there's quite a bit, but are there any concerns with parking with the increased density there? Staff says no. Thank you.
Councillor McLean.
I can't find the sentence that I read when I was going through this, but it had to do with the fact of, as far as I'm concerned, this is right up our alley. We have a housing problem. We're inviting companies to come here. We're trying to sell industrial land to people that don't, and we don't have housing to house the business people, the employees that they're going to have as a business. I think this is right up our alley. And the sentence I read stated about looking into trying to encourage not only carriage houses, but secondary dwellings and that sort of thing. That's one house, you know, the equivalent of one house in a lot of cases. A lot of people that are maybe have one child or two children that could exist in a small area like this. And I would just like to see it on our agenda for the future, that we look into this sort of thing and see the viability of it.
Yeah, I think it's on our radar for the OCP review.
Perfect.
Councillor Gould?
It also does speak in the report too about a blanket option, where we could look at that in the future. So I think I'll encourage anyone to continue making application, because that's what the Minister, Selena Robinson, had also recommended last year at the UBCM.
Yep. CIO, did you?
No, you guys are bang on. It fits in with our OCP to promote infill, so.
Okay, any other comments, questions? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Thank you. No new business, so that brings us to agenda item conclusion. Motion to close. Recommendation that the meeting be closed to the public for the purpose of considering the following. There's lots there. Personal somebody make the recommended motion. Councillor McLean.
Second, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Willis, thank you. All in favor? Carried, thank you. Good night, everybody.